Today we're talking about the best cities to visit in America. There's a bunch of lists out there all over the internet, but they're all trash. This video you're watching is the only reliable source. And none of this is subjective. It's nothing but 100% Jaws honest truth. Sure, this is a craft beer channel, but what else makes a city great to visit? Now let's face it, every major city has great craft beer at this point. 10 years ago, this video would have solely been based off the cities that probably just had the most breweries. But now there's way too much competition in big cities to have mediocre beer, so the great beer factor is always going to be there. But I've been maxing out credit cards left and right, traveling to see what's going on with America. What is the best all-around city to hit for a 3-day vacation? There's a lot of factors like the beer and the food and the Super Mario themed burlesque shows, the people, who's got the best weather. But the biggest factor I didn't even think about was until my 10th or 15th trip that I went on. And then I watched my Barrage Steve's video on his beer trip to Portland, Maine, and how much he enjoyed it. So I reached out to him and asked, how big is the city? Are you going to spend $500 Ubering around everywhere? And he said, no way. He said, you can walk pretty much anywhere. And then it hit me. That is the biggest factor. You don't want to spend more money on Ubering than the actual beer and food itself. I'll tell you what, Ubering has become my nightmare. Truth be told, Uber drivers scare the shit out of me. We were in Tampa Bay last month and we spent way too much money on Ubering. Not only that, but the Ubers are flaky. They show up 30 minutes later. You click on the GPS to see where they're at and they're at a McDonald's drive-thru or taking a shit somewhere. This is my vacation for 3 days only. I don't have time for this. And then you get that $40 Uber and you sit in the back, which should be an unwritten rule for leave me the fuck alone, don't talk to me, but they still want to talk. And then from time to time you get that Uber driver that only thinks he can hear you if you're making eye contact. So what kind of music do you like? So he's got to turn around and look at you while he's on the freeway. There was this lady Uber driver we had, very voluptuous woman, who dropped her Gatorade down by her feet while she was driving on the freeway and then asked me to grab it for her. I couldn't even see the bottle because she had a skirt on, big woman, small car, and I'm just reaching down there, touching her legs and her socks, trying not to lift up anything. Thank God I found that Gatorade bottle before we had some Final Destination accident. I'm putting my foot down. No more Ubers. I want to go on vacation in places where you could just drop us off. They've got a lot of cool stuff and we could just walk everywhere. And hey, I'm from San Diego and I love San Diego. That's where all my friends and family are. The people comment on the channel, hey CH, I'm going to San Diego. Which brewery should I check out this weekend? And honestly, I have no clue. I don't go downtown at all unless it's for a Padre game. What breweries are downtown? Ballast Point, Stone, Hooters, Cheetahs. San Diego's like 5 cities. You got downtown, you got North County, all the breweries around Mira Mesa, and then probably some other shit. All my action is up in North County. That's where I am. That's where I stay. Which is about an hour away now from downtown with all the people and the traffic, and the freeway's always getting worked on. And if you do visit San Diego, I recommend just staying downtown. Just walk everywhere, or you're gonna be spending a ton of money on Ubering, and half your vacation you're gonna be sitting in traffic. Or come to San Diego and immediately coaster up to North County and just stay up there. All right, we're packing our bags. We're flying Spirit Airlines. More like Holy Spirit Airlines. Pray to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit that your flight gets there. But here's the secret. Don't pay the $100 each way baggage fees. Just get a flat rate USPS box and ship it to yourself. Don't ever say I didn't do anything for you. And stick around because at the end I got a question for you. And in the meantime, let's talk about the 5 greatest non-Ubering cities in America. Number 5, the home of the Music City Miracle. The home to both my ex-girlfriends, Taylor Swift and Dolly Parton. Talking about Nashville, Tennessee, fam. You want it all and you're scared to death of all the Uber drivers like me? Well, look no further than this city. You can literally walk to a million of different places. This place is just like one giant carnival. And they've got barbecue out here. Being from California, we don't have any barbecue spots. The only food that exists in California is avocado toast, bottled water, and sushi. Now, Nashville's one of those cities where you don't need any itinerary or any reservations. You just walk around and walk into any place that looks appealing. This city is people watching at its finest. What do you want to do? You want food? You want to hit a distillery? You want to hit a brewery? You want to check out live music? Trick question. There's live music at every single establishment in Nashville. And all these bands are good. They're really good. Like being on the radio or American Idol good. And I have no idea what this place is called, but the live music is awesome. If someone's been to this spot, please comment below. It's definitely worth checking out. And it seems like you see a bachelorette group walk by every 10 seconds. I don't have a girlfriend, but if I did, she is definitely not allowed to go to Nashville with a group of girls. No chance. Every girl is dolled up, drunk, and screaming. We only went to one brewery, Tailgate Brewery, and it was great. But we were drinking the local beers like Jackalope and Bearded Iris at the local music venues we were going to. Nashville, Tennessee, put it on your radar. Number 4, going with the big easy on this one, New Orleans, Louisiana. And this city is in a category of its own. It's a one-off like Las Vegas or Amsterdam. It's a city that's impossible to replicate. There's not too many cities where you can get a 40-ounce rum daiquiri, go outside with it, and then say what up to a cop without getting arrested. New Orleans has a ton of live music, but it's a different vibe than Nashville. You can go into a place, be the only person there, and see 8 people on stage performing their hearts out like there's no tomorrow. And it seems like it's not about getting on the radio to New Orleans musicians. It seems like it's just about self-expression more than anything. And the reason I used to go to New Orleans every year was for their Wizard Cons, and San Diego's Comic Con is just way too expensive and way too many people for me. There's around 100,000 people that go to San Diego Comic Con, but at the Wizard Con in New Orleans, you can walk around, drink delicious beer, and you don't have to wait in all those long lines. The food is great, and the craft beer was kind of hit or miss the last time I was there, the January right before COVID, but I'm 100% certain when I go back, the craft beer will be as good as any city. The burlesque shows are epic, but I'm going to keep it PG-13 this time since YouTube flagged my New Orleans video years ago. No strippers dressed as Luigi with little green stars covering their titties this time around. Number 3 is going to go to the other Portland, Oregon. And this is an expensive city to live in, but that doesn't mean you can't visit. And of the 5 cities in this video, this is the one where you might have to do some Ubering, but it ain't bad. Or you can just catch the bus. Portland is very green and beautiful, but it rains a lot. So map out your trip around good weather. And you're always hearing about how bad Portland's homeless problem is, but I don't know about that. Maybe I was just in cleaner spots, or maybe it's just more of a clickbait media thing, but Portland, Oregon was about as clean of a city as I've ever seen. They've got these amazing giant gardens where you can stop and smell 50 roses, and then they have some of the best beers in the world where you can stop and drink 50 IPAs. The food's killer. It's one of those cities where they let you know that everything on the menu is all vegan, sustainable, and cage-free, even the tap water. And if you want to eat a steak at a fully nude bar, then check out Acropolis. But I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird. Staring at a ton of balloon knot and eating a ribeye might take some time to get used to. Number 2, going with good old Rocky Top, Knoxville, Tennessee. And full disclaimer, this is definitely biased since I think Knoxville is the best city to live in America by so far. It's affordable, the weather is just like San Diego, people get along the best, there's definitely the most love here. I've been here for 14 months and I've never sat in traffic, and there's no state income tax. In San Diego, 23% of my income went to taxes, but out here I only pay 15%. Moving from the state with the highest income tax to no income tax is unexplainable. I paid $600 a month in income tax in California for who knows what. I think the best way to look at income tax is more of just a fee, a state fee, rather than a tax, since I have no clue where your money goes. Roads, schools, your politicians' eyes wide shut parties, Jah only knows. Everybody loves Knoxville. I can get around this town without a car, but there's still a ton of stuff to do. Knoxville has 29 breweries, a ton of delicious restaurants, and awesome venues with a bunch of history. This is definitely a town where you're not going to have to do too much Ubering, and the public transportation here is free. The only bummer about Knoxville is the airport is small, which means a lot of the flights are going to be expensive. That's really my only fuss about this place. My buddy Charles just put together an epic brewery, Yeehaw Brewery, right behind my house. I have no idea if that's good or bad for me, but it's a great brewery nonetheless. These breweries with big money are starting to come out here, Tennessee and North Carolina, like Sierra Nevada coming from California and Fort Collins from Colorado. People who own these breweries aren't stupid, and they know the towns that are up and coming. I moved out here on blind faith and got extremely lucky with this decision. Number 1. And if you watch the stream, you already know it's Asheville, North Carolina. I can't afford to live here, so it's not the best place for me to live, but if you're going on vacation for a 3-day beer trip, it's the best city I have ever been to in America, period, bar none. I've been to Asheville 4 times in the last year, and I cannot remember taking one Uber. The first trip out here, my buddy and I literally walked everywhere. You want coffee, you walk to it. Delicious craft beer, you walk to it. Food, walk to it. Came out here with another buddy, Steve, second time, and we hit the breweries I didn't even attend the previous time, and I couldn't believe how great and close they were. The Asheville beer scene is like Disneyland for adults. I've never had one bad experience in Asheville in regards to bad food, a bad beer, a tasting room I didn't like. You want something small and homey, they got it. You want something bigger and touristy, head to New Belgium. You want a cocktail at a speakeasy, you want an art district, you got it. And Asheville is an hour and a half away from Knoxville, so if you make it to one city, you might as well check out the other, even though that Uber is probably going to cost $200. So let me know in the comments section. What's a great beer city worth checking out where we can go by foot? And subscribe to the stream, and if you don't, I'm going to find out. It's going to be bad.